following show contains adult content. It's not our intent to offend anyone, but we want to inform you that if you are a child under the age of 18 or get offended easily, this next show may not be for you. The content, opinions, and subject matter of these shows are solely the choice of your show hosts and their guests, and not those of the Entertainment Network or any affiliated stations. Any comments or inquiries should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for listening.
To the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
Wake up, America! It's time for the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY.com, West Palm Beach's #1 internet radio station. Here's your host, the Pipeman.
Yo! 2025. Finally, because 2024, in my opinion, sucked the big one, okay? And not in a good way. And I just want to say that I want to find out what other people think. Was 2024 good for you, bad for you, indifferent, doesn't matter, because we all had different experiences. Some of us may be not happy 2024 is over. I can tell you almost everybody I know is real happy it's over, and I'm super excited for 2025 because we can turn this thing around and make this year the year of our life. Now, before we do that, though, we have to bring the pipe nuts on here on the Adventures of Pipeman, W4CY Radio, W4CY.com. Let's see Swamp Nut and Studio Nut. They're the only two pipe nuts that have survived the New Year's Eve partying.
Yes.
So we know who the hardcore people are. We're here. Look at Rebel. Rebel's a hurting pup, okay? And I'm going to speak louder because of it. So I have to tell you a story about that. As somebody that rarely ever drinks, I love when people have a hangover because, you know, it's your fault. So I'm going to bust you for it. So like when I was married to Thing One, anytime she had a hangover, I took full advantage of it. Like one time we were at like this restaurant and the eggs were real runny. I'm like, hey, Thing One, look at these runny eggs over here. Oh my God, you have to see them. They're so gross. They're like, ooh, that one even has like it looks like a pulse and it's got blood lines through it and stuff. And see, that's exactly how she reacted. Just like Swamp Nut. Okay. And you know, it is funny. I always wear the sunglasses, but I wonder if there's statistics of how many people on earth wear sunglasses on New Year's Day, because
probably a lot.
Yes. My dad, who was an alcoholic, he used to, first of all, one thing I have to say about my dad that was really cool, most all of the year, we didn't do stuff except New Year's Eve. And New Year's Eve, he would hang out and we would watch a movie. And it was our thing because he used to say New Year's Eve is amateur night. So he would drink and drive every other day of the year, just not New Year's Eve.
Please don't do that.
No, he did. I'm not saying you should do it. He did it.
Don't drink and drive. Drink and then drive. Multitasking is very dangerous.
No.
That brings me to a Chad story. Okay. This is what New Year's Eve is about. Talking about stories from the past, keeping them in the past, moving forward into the future, and in a positive mode. Like everything that happens to you in life that's behind you, good or bad, has a positive influence on your life. And everybody needs to see that. Now, here's the thing. Okay. So one night we were out, I think the Gypsy's horse. Oh, that's a separate story. Never mind. We'll have to tell that story too. Let's talk about that story. We were at the Gypsy's horse. Okay. And So Chad became Brad. He was so drunk. The Gypsy's horse was right across the street from the studio. Chad was playing, but when he went to go pee in the bushes of the bar, like not even outside the bar, he went literally with the cops watching. They were there hanging out, small town thing. And so then he went and peed like right in the bushes inside the outdoor part of the bar, not like outside the bar. You know this to be true, Rebel. He peed on your foot, didn't he?
No, that was Jessica.
Oh, okay. He used to pee on Rosie. We had this friend Rosie. She used to pee on her foot all the time. He used to pee on people's hubcap like a dog. Okay, remember that? Like
yeah,
he'd just
witnessed
walk
that.
up to somebody's wheel and just start peeing right on the wheel. Okay, but this time, apparently, I guess he peed a little on himself, and so the cops so made fun of him. But okay, so let's go back to the other side. We're driving home from the Gypsy's horse in like a caravan to, don't tell his sister, but to Chad's sister's house, because Chad's brother-in-law, famous polo player, which by the way, check out on Netflix. There's a polo series on Netflix. It's about Wellington. It's so cool. And it's about the most, a lot of it's about the most famous player of all time, Cambiaso. And now his son's playing. Chad's brother-in-law, famous polo player. And so they go on the circuit, and when season's over in Wellington, everybody goes up to Aiken, South Carolina. During that time, Chad would be in charge of watching his sister's house. Okay? Because until Chad worked at the radio station, Chad basically was like a vagabond, okay? He didn't really have a real job. He just basically, floated around and was not responsible, and then he met Heather Burkett, and then we started the station, and like the person I met working at the station was not the person I knew before the station. Like his production quality and everything else and his musicianship, yes, but not that he took life seriously. Like I never saw him taking life seriously. He was like it, how your friends were in high school, that's where he was kind of at. So basically he would be watching his sister's house, and we would all go over there and hang out. Okay. And so one night, caravan over to the house, and we get pulled over by the cops, like the whole caravan.
When you're following someone, you don't have to swerve with them, right?
Well, no, what happened is we turned into his neighborhood, and all three of us, there were three cars, we all did the California roll over the stop sign into the neighborhood. So they walk up to Chad. First thing they say is, "Sir, have you been drinking?" And Chad goes, "Yes, sir, I have." That was so Chad. He was so brutally honest. But like even that, they let us drive back to his house because it's only like 2 blocks away. So yeah. There's a New Year's story right there. Wait, we should share some New Year's stories today. We're going to talk a little bit about Shiprock because at the we're going to make an announcement about an announcement sometime during the show. An announcement about Shiprock. It might or may not have to do with winners. In fact, what it means is this is the absolute last show, the deadline to enter to win the free cabin to Shiprocked, because we're going to announce it next week. Oh shit! I just announced it. Now, never mind.
Why you tell them?
Okay, we're going to talk about other things later that they have to wait around about. But I do want to say that it was very interesting the other day. Well, I was talking to somebody on the phone who was a potential client of the network. and he used a phrase. Oh no, that wasn't it. I'm looking for a new surfboard. Okay. And so I called this one surf shop up in St. Augustine. Dude was totally cool. Like mad props to that surf shop, because the dude got on with me and was talking to me, and he used a term that I use all the time. And it's a motivational term. So I want to know from Juan or Studio Nut or Rebel or Swamp Nut, if you have an opinion of what line that was.
Let's see. You're looking for a new surfboard, and he gives you a line. Hang tight. Hang 10.
Nope. Studio Nut. Any guesses? I said it was a motivational line. I guess that could be motivational, hang 10, but only to surfers.
Go with the flow.
That's a pretty good line right there, but it's not it. But that is a great line. Okay. And I do say it all the time. So that was a good guess. A much better guess than Rebels. 12 years, and that's all she's got. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, basically, I was telling him what I was doing, shopping for the board. And he says, sounds like you have the paralysis of analysis. And wow, this is so important, because this is something to talk about for New Year's, because I use that line all the time. Basically, what it means is if you just keep overanalyzing everything, then all you're going to do is paralyze yourself and make no decision. And that's what happens to people. And sometimes I do that. Hey, have you ever watched Big Bang Theory?
Yes.
Rebel, wake up. Yeah, people can't see you shaking your head if they're only listening. Like if they're watching, they can see that. But yeah, yes. The vocals kind of go along with the show. Just saying. Okay. What are you saying yes to?
I said yes. Can you hear me?
What are you saying yes to?
Yes.
I want to know.
I try to watch it a lot. Watching Big Bang Theory.
I want to know what if you're
watching Big Bang Theory.
Okay. I just want to make sure, because I want to see whether
watching
you were
Big Bang Theory.
Just yes to me at that. Okay. So you know the episode about where he's deciding whether Xbox or PS5.
Yep.
I'm the type that I'll normally just buy both, because I cannot make up my mind. Okay. Like I did the same thing as he did, sitting in the store. Well, this one has this, but this one has that. And the same thing. If any of you watching have watched Big Bang Theory, check out this episode if you haven't seen it. It's funny as shit, but it's so true to life. And I am like that. Like even when I go on the Pipeman homeless tour, okay, I do that with Airbnbs. Like I find like 250 possible Airbnbs, and I have to narrow it down to one. And what ends up happening is sometimes you're just like, oh my God, screw this crap, or everything starts looking the same, or, you're like, I don't even know what to do, so screw it. Rebel, have you had those experiences? And what have your experiences been with paralysis of analysis? Give us an example where you've done that. Was it whether to drink vodka or gin?
Well, actually, now that you mention it, I had choices.
No, for her, that's a no-brainer. She'll just drink whatever is put in front of her.
Choices, but I chose to stick with what I actually like to drink.
And what is that? Tell us what that is.
Jack. It's Cayman Jack.
What is Cayman Jack? Is that like Jack Daniels from the Cayman Islands or something from Grand
Margarita.
Margarita in a can.
My favorite.
So, I'm so not surprised. That's so Louisiana to drink a margarita out of a can. That is so redneck.
Drink it out of a can. By the way, I never drink out of cans.
She was probably shotgunning them too.
But just to buy it out of a can, it's like, I bet you buy boxed wine too, don't you, Rebel?
I don't drink wine, just like I don't drink beer. And I don't drink, hence the fact it's not even open. I don't drink hard salsa either. But
It's
last
hard
night I
when you
happened
get
to-
drunk and get hit over the head with the seltzer. That's why it's called hard seltzer. You
Is
get
that how
drunk.
that works out?
Yeah, so you get drunk, you do stupid shit, and somebody whacks you over the head with the can.
That's why you're not
You know.
supposed to drink from a can. You're supposed to drink from a bag with a straw.
That's right.
A bag with a straw. No. But there's drive-through daiquiri shops. There's your straw.
So okay, so you have the audacity to make fun of Florida for having HIV/AIDS testing signs, and you guys do like the exact opposite. You have a sign for a margarita while you're driving, okay? Like, please, this is the motto of Louisiana. Please come to our state, do drink and drive, and do have sex that's unprotected.
No. That's right there for Florida. But no, they do have drive-through
How do you
liquor
explain
stores too.
the herpes on your lip right now then?
There's nothing there.
We see it.
Absolutely not.
It's just kind of like before where we couldn't see Studio Nut, but he could.
No, there's nothing. Nothing
Okay,
there.
so tell us your paralysis of analysis story, Swamp Nut.
Well, I overthink a lot of things. And God, speaking of analyzing, you sit there and you analyze things to death. And I tend to do that. When you catch yourself, you just like, snap, okay, forget it, go with one of them. But sometimes you will sit there and overanalyze things. Like I was returning to law school, but I overanalyzed everything and decided, it boiled down to a money issue.
Hold on, let me stop you right there. That's when your life of crime started?
No, that started way before.
Oh,
It
okay.
started way back.
So
way
you
back.
wanted to become a lawyer so you could you didn't have any legal expenses.
I mean, she's wearing a ski mask, right?
Right.
Not a ski mask, it's a beanie.
It's a beanie now, but if you pull it down and it shows
It's still
the
a
hole for the
beanie.
eyes.
No matter how you look at it, it's still a beanie. But no, when I was younger, I've been in entertainment since I was 5. So, and wow, so
Well,
rude calling me during the show.
that explains a lot, I gotta say.
So you're a
Anyway,
dancer, and then
No, I've been in entertainment since I was 5, and I obviously had to go through school and stuff like that. And when I got to college, and I went into law, but entertainment grabbed me and pulled me back. And instead of analyzing that, I just made a snap decision. Let's go with entertainment.
Wait, when entertainment grabbed you, was that when you started the Me Too movement?
No. No.
Oh, okay.
No, indeed. But it was a nice cop and feel there. But anyway, so entertainment grabbed me, and I continued on with the entertainment opposed to finishing school. Now, I do have a lot of degrees and certificates and all kinds of stuff, but I never got my law degree. And I thought about going back recently.
She did, however, get her Plato degree. She had to go back in the archives, and she found it.
You're so lucky I don't have Plato right here. I don't. But
see, that would be fun. That's what we miss nowadays in the days of the digital world. You can't be in the studio and throw shit at each other. That's terrible. And see, because we're on video, we can't even fake it. Like, at least if we were audio only, we could be theater of the mind, which is what I always loved, as you know, Rebel. And so I could really make it sound like I was
stop throwing things at me.
We could make it so believable that the cops would show up to his studio and arrest me for, violent. I guess you'd call it domestic violence,
That's like violence, yeah.
I think that would be a battery charge.
Yeah.
That would be cute if a battery charge your battery thing came up right there. Battery charge.
Oh
That
my
is so
God.
funny. I
So
know.
now we know what kind of degrees you have just based
No,
on that comment.
like comedy
Li-
is one of my things.
Listen, just
And
because you're
yes,
at a
it is
Grateful
funny.
Dead show tripping out on acid and your
Never.
friend writes out on a napkin certificate of completion, that doesn't mean you have a degree. Okay.
Wrong
Just
answer.
saying. Okay.
Wrong
So,
answer.
Studio Nut, do you have a paralysis of analysis story about yourself you want to share?
I do, and this is probably not an interesting one, but it's the moment that I knew or that I realized that I'm an overthinker. I once spent 2 months deciding on what deodorant to buy.
Wow. And then you
I
bought.
visited I visited about 20 different stores and spent 2 weeks online just researching ingredients, like colors, like, everything that's in it. And it was just like so frustrating because I couldn't find the perfect one.
Yeah.
Did
And
you wear
see,
deodorant in the meantime, or no?
I kept using the same one that I was using before, but I wanted to change.
well, I'm under that same conundrum now because my deodorant is irritating me. So now it's an
I'm gonna
even
stop
more
using it.
complicated decision
See,
because now I have to make sure it's one that won't still irritate me. And it's so hard.
that's the
Oh wait,
problem that I was having. Aluminum
I
See?
have a
free.
suggestion.
That's what you need. Aluminum free.
I have a
Yeah.
suggestion for you too. Tune in to the Red Lasered Water Guy, and his company has all natural, a new deodorant. You can even eat it. You can put it everywhere on your body, not just under your arms. Put
Is
it
it
everywhere.
chocolate flavored? Because I'm sold if it is.
I don't think it's chocolate flavored, but I will mention that to Joe to see if they can come up with a chocolate
I-
flavored.
If it's
I
honey
would-
flavor, can I put it in my tea?
That's something you should really watch the Red Lasered Water Guy on K4HD radio and find out.
What time? What day? How do we know when to tune in?
That's Wednesdays at I should know this, 9 p.m. Eastern time.
Oh my God,
On
I can't believe I knew the answer quicker than you did.
Even I knew that.
Oh my God, Rebel, come on, man. You drank
I answered
way too much
it.
last night. You drank,
Sometimes I feel like I know more about Rebel shows than Rebel does.
Still drinking.
I know, right? So yeah, I mean, it is a difficult scenario. I thought you were gonna come in with another Chad thing because towards the end, Chad was on this whole thing against deodorants. It's so funny. Chad must be channeling into a show that Studio Nut decides to do a deodorant thing because he doesn't even know this. But towards the end, Chad was doing all this research. It was just using lemon. And I'm like, dude, that ain't working.
Well, I've heard that if this is something like this is an old remedy that people say that if you have stinky feet, you can rub lemons on your feet and that'll get rid of the smell, so that your feet doesn't smell anymore. Like it does something to like your sweat glands or something like that. That's what they say.
Yeah, I have a cure though. I have a cure for stinky feet.
Chop them off.
Start wearing socks.
Oh,
Those are all the people with stinky feet wear no socks. Okay, like
my brain went straight to can't have stinky feet if you don't have feet.
well, that's true too. But see, the thing is I'm somebody that before they had socks the way they do now, you had to suffer with wearing your slip-on Vans with no socks. Okay, but see, the sock companies, they got smart because now they make the no-show socks. When I was younger, there were no no-show socks. It was like you looked absolutely freaking stupid with your knee-high sweat socks and your Vans slip-ons. Okay,
well, for me, they were ankle high, so they were still showing a bit. It was only like a couple inches above the shoe. So what you had to do was fold them back into your foot.
I used to do the same thing. I used to fold them down because even the ankle socks on a Van slip-on is way too big. It like looks so stupid. And so that's what it is. The minute I started wearing socks, I got rid of Florida.
So, wow. That's amazing. Wearing socks can make that much of a
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah,
You know
see?
what's funny though? Like I think the high top shoes came out before the no show socks. So the high top shoes took care of the ankle socks showing problem because they're higher
Yes,
than regular
definitely.
shoes. But then after that, it was like no show socks came out, and then we're like, okay,
Exactly. And what's up with people? I have there's somebody that used to work at the station that qualifies for this. Okay, and I'm going to see if Rebel can guess who it is. What's up with people that wear socks with sandals? Okay, like you are mentally deranged. I think you're possibly a serial killer when you do that.
I do that sometimes.
Oh my God, you're definitely a serial killer.
Socks with sandals.
So now there's two
Yep.
people. Okay, Swamp Nut, do you know who the other person was?
Did they work at the studio?
Yes, yes.
Not just a show host.
No.
Mm,
How would I know if show we don't show the feet, okay? For all
they
you
come
know,
in to
Not-
the
it's
for all you
studio.
know, I'm
show.
not even wearing pants right now, okay?
Well, thanks for sharing. But anyway,
Just putting it out there for the Pipeman group on, okay?
I don't really know who would do that. In the Florida studio or the K4HC
Yeah.
studio.
Nope,
Oh,
Florida studio.
I was gonna say Michael, but Jessica.
Yep.
She was-
Bingo.
it was?
Bingo.
It was
Bingo.
Jessica?
Bingo. Bingo. Yep.
Oh, God.
Bingo. Bingo.
Sorry.
Bingo.
guys.
Bango. And she will proudly say it too.
Oh, God.
I feel like I was attacked yesterday.
Why so?
Well, because I was in one of the surf shops, and they had like the surf skates. They're the new skateboards that so you can skate when you can't surf, when you can't be in the water, and it's like surfing but on a skateboard. And I know it had to be specifically for me because it's something I do. There was a sign there that said, "Do not ride the skateboards." Oh my God, thing one used to hate it. Like every time we took the kids to a store, Toys R Us or someplace like that, I'd find a skateboard and start skateboarding around the store. And I still do it to this day. I am a shopping cart riding champion. I ride the shopping carts like they're skateboards.
Reminds me of you riding down the escalator to go into that store that day, and I freaked out because they were watching you. Thought you were going to be in trouble.
See?
You only get in
Why you
trouble
don't-
if you're a little kid, right?
Well, that's the point. Okay. Listen, I thought about it recently. Okay. There are I wish I knew when I was younger what perks there are to be in your 50s. Like, you could be in your 50s
Can't get there any sooner.
and drinking a bottle of alcohol, smoking a joint, and probably, texting on your phone all at the same time while you're driving. And cops will be like, yeah, that's okay. If you're 21 doing that, you're pulled over and you get 15 tickets and probably go to jail. Not that
It's
I have
funny
any
you say that.
experience with that.
We were driving yesterday and not drinking and driving, but just driving to go drink. And I was seeing people.
Well, wait a minute. If you're driving to drink, that means at some point you're drinking and driving.
No. And driving to a place where we were going to be drinking and staying so we wouldn't be driving.
I mean, I have been driven to drink, but
Well,
like people drive me to drink, but that's a whole different story.
I rarely drink now, but I never drank, and then I was divorced twice, so now it's translated to rarely.
No.
Speaking of
But
which,
anyway, so driving, these drivers are watching TV as they're driving. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? You're not supposed to be driving, watching TV in front. I can see
You know,
the back seat
it's funny.
drivers.
It's funny because like I see like police officers all the time, like at the stoplight, they have their laptops open, YouTube open on the laptop, they're watching videos on it. But
Yep.
you know, I once got stopped for looking lost. That's the reason the cop gave me. He said, I stopped you because you look lost. And then he proceeded to check my entire car to see if he could find anything wrong and give me a ticket for it.
Yeah. Well, you were profiled.
Probable
You-
cause.
You were profiled. You're just like the people in East LA on the street corners. That's how they profiled you.
Mind you, I was going to the beach and I had passed the entrance to the parking lot. So I did a U-turn
So you were lost.
and then I came back into the thing. But then he stopped me because he said I look lost.
You should have just said, "Yes, sir, I am." It
No, you
worked.
should have just said,
I
nope,
am-
I'm here.
What I should have said was, I'm lost in your eyes, sir. Can I please have your number?
Oh my God, that's terrible.
I know.
That's
Yes,
terrible.
I am. He should have punished me.
Paralysis of analysis. I think that's what we need to get rid of from 2024 into 2025 because it really doesn't get you anything positive. It puts you in a negative state of mind and it really inhibits you from reaching all your goals. Speaking of
That's
which, two things. And one, be very prepared right now. Okay. Just saying. Speaking of which, when we come back, we're going to talk about New Year's resolutions, goals, and what the difference is, and maybe even why New Year's resolutions suck and goals rule. But in the same time, it's New Year's, and this is the last chance to win tickets to Shiprock. And if you don't win, still, you can enter the code W4CY and win $100 worth of free credits just for booking your cruise. And you don't even have to win. Pipeman's giving it to you. I'm giving you $100 to party with me on the cruise. So I know you don't want to, but let's hear both commercials just to see what it's all about. And then we'll come back and talk about New Year's resolutions and goals.
Which two commercials?
Oh my God. Jesus Christ, Studio Nut. It's both Shiprock commercials. Come on now. W4CY Radio and Pipeman Radio has a contest to win a free cabin on the most rockin' cruise there is. For the first time ever, we are offering a free cabin on Shiprock. Yes, you heard that right. Win a free cabin and experience your favorite week-long party with us on Shiprock 25, stacked with killer music, rad artist-hosted activities, and bitchin' theme nights. Together, let's rock out, make new friends, and cruise to St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands, and Half Moon Cay, Bahamas. DM Pipeman Radio on all socials to be entered to win, or just listen to the Adventures of Pipeman for your cue to call. Join W4CY Radio and Pipeman Radio January 19th through the 25th, 2025 as we ride the Shiprocked Retro Wave back in time from the Vice City of Miami to Sunkissed Paradise in St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands, and Half Moon Cay, Bahamas. Shiprock 25's week-long flashback at sea will be stacked with killer music, rad artist-hosted activities, and bitchin' theme nights. First-time guests receive $100 onboard credit when booking using the code W4CY. That's right, use the code W4CY and receive money to spend on board for exclusive dining and other ship amenities. Go to shiprock.com and book now. It's gonna be righteous. It's gonna be frickin' righteous, man! Righteous! Mr. Hand. It's going to be righteous, Mr. Hand. Where does that come from? Let's see the generations. Wait, Rebel. Studio Nut.
That sounds
What?
like it was way before my time.
Yep. Okay, Swamp Nut, here's your chance to shine.
That is from Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yes.
Spicoli sent it to Mr. Hand.
Mr. Hand. Okay, so did you ever see Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Studio Nut?
No.
You have to watch it because, okay, I lived in California at the time. It's about the Galleria Mall in Sherman Oaks, which I used to go to all the time, and it's so true to life at that time. But that's where Sean Penn, you know who that is, right? Okay,
Yes.
That's where he made his introduction into our world. And that led to him getting married to Madonna. Did you know that he was married to Madonna?
I did not.
Oh, see that? That was a big thing. Okay, so Sean Penn
Before your time.
was
I think the only thing I remember about like hearing about Madonna when I was growing up is that she went a little bit crazy and started running in the street nude.
well, let me just say that there was a fashion back then. All the high school girls used to love dressing like Madonna. In fact, there's this girl I was really close with since high school that she hates when I bust her chops now because she doesn't want anybody to know. She used to dress just and look just like Madonna. The fashion trend then was wearing, if you were a female, you wore your underwear outside your clothes.
So like Superman.
Something like that. No, she's shaking her head, but I lived it. It's true. Yeah. Why are you shaking
It's
your
true,
head?
but I would never do it. Because
Yeah,
I would never do that. That is crazy. I have never.
And that was Madonna started that look. Madonna was the Lady Gaga of then, and now Lady Gaga makes fun of Madonna because she's, old and not relevant anymore or some shit like that. I don't know. They have a feud. But the thing is, it was Jeff Spicoli, and one of the best scenes in the movie. There's a lot of them, but this was the stoner dude. That I had a friend just like this dude that spoke just like him. So here's how Spicoli would go. Hey, dude. That totally gnarly, man. I just want some cool waves and some tasty butt, man. Swamp Nut, what the fuck is wrong with you? You already knew before and still didn't shut your phone off?
People checking in to make sure I'm still alive from last night, man. What am I supposed to do, man?
Well, I don't know if you are or not yet, but the jury's still out on that. So anyway, what he does is in Mr. Hand's classroom, like he's a high school student, he orders a pizza to be delivered to the classroom. Classic. Yes. Like I wish I thought of it myself. That
Did
was
you bring
brilliant.
enough for everybody?
Oh yeah, so you gotta watch the movie, Studio Nut.
Got to.
And we'll have the homework next week's show.
Where can I watch it?
Just search it. Like you live in a world where you can press a button or say, "Hey Alexa." Oh shit! I just said, "Hey Alexa," and now she's lighting up. Hey, watch this. Let's see if this happens live on air. Hey Alexa, can we listen to the Adventures of Pipeman?
Okay. Puzzles of War, Casino Olympia by Pipeman author. The Kindle ebook is $7.99. Would you like to buy it?
Can you guys hear that?
Yep.
$7.49.
Oh my god. Hey
Wow.
Alexa. Hey Alexa, what do you think of this show we're doing today?
I'm not sure what went wrong.
Did you hear her?
Yep.
She said, "I'm not sure what went wrong." Oh man. So
Neither are we, Alexa. Neither are we.
Alexa doesn't even respond to me a lot lately because if she doesn't like the question, instead of responding, she just does a sound and goes boop. Like if I ask her if she had sex today. Watch. Hey Alexa, did you have sex today? Did you hear it? Did you hear it?
I was waiting for a response. I'm currently in the moment, so please shut up.
I just brought Alexa into the show. Oh no, she's listening to me again. You can't mention her name. you could change her name. I want to change it to something stupid, like in the movie The Jerk. Okay, here we go. Generation gap again. Studio Nut. Who was the famous actor in the movie The Jerk, and what is the most famous line out of that movie?
No idea.
Do you know, Rebel?
Steve Martin.
Steve Martin. Go ahead. Who was my dad's favorite comic?
I don't know. I really don't know what the famous line from the movie is.
Well, he named his dog Shithead. Another movie you gotta watch. But the famous line was, it starts in the beginning of the movie, and you have to know the movie. And he's as white as they come, okay, looks wise. He goes, I was born a poor black child. And that was the beginning of the movie. Because basically he was left on the step of this black family and they raised him. So he like thinks he's black. And like Buddy, the elf. Who thinks he's really an elf? It's the same concept. See, they just regurgitate these ideas. Okay. Like elf is not anything new. That's stolen from The Jerk. And that was the name of the movie, The Jerk. Okay. So anyway, I was even reminded by a new show that's coming on of a character in Saturday Night Live that I forgot the name of. Father Guido Sarducci. Do you remember Father Guido Sarducci, Swamp Nut?
Guido's? No. That might be before my time.
Well, yeah, I think you have to do this, and you say 3 Hail Marys, and you just. I don't do a good impression.
Oh, you said it's Saturday Night Live. No, I never watched that.
Oh, well, you're a loser. Anyway, so let's go back to what we're discussing, dreams and goals, okay? Well, I say dreams and goals because to me, that's what a resolution is, a dream. Do you know the difference? Either one of you, first one to answer, okay, that wants to answer, you have to pound on your desk and make the buzzer sound, okay, to answer. That might work too. Okay, so here it is. What's the answer?
What's the answer to what? What's the difference between resolution and a goal? Goals you can set and achieve.
No. Okay, so what's the difference between a dream and a goal?
Only sleepers get dreams. A goal can be set and reached by anyone who tries.
What, are you Googling this shit? Juan,
no,
what's the difference between a dream and a goal?
I have no idea.
Then you better go get Who Said Life Doesn't Come with an Owner's Manual, my book, because it'll give you the answer in there. But basically...
Well, I have a copy here.
Yeah, so exactly. So the thing is the difference is a goal is a dream with a deadline. Because without a deadline, you'll never achieve it. Dreams are something you want. Goals are things you go after. So
okay.
Goals can be dreams, but dreams can't necessarily be goals. So
but
to
if you
me,
have analysis paralysis, neither one's going to happen because you're going to sit there and overthink it, and it'll still be either a dream or a goal.
No doubt. And if you date the Pipeman and you overthink, you won't be dating the Pipeman anymore either. Just saying.
Can I have 2 overthinkers, right?
Like paralysis of analysis is like one of my biggest things. The other one, that's one of my biggest things. You're going to laugh at this. I used it so much that thing one thought I made up the term and I didn't. A lot of motivation is plagiarism. Like you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Okay. And so one of mine is the definition of insanity. Juan, do you know the definition of insanity?
Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results.
Okay. Now, Rebel, who is the originator of that? And it's not Pipeman.
Albert Einstein.
Wow, I'm impressed. With your Louisiana education, I am so impressed. I am so impressed. I'm surprised I even taught you that, okay?
Ironically, I didn't learn it in school.
I don't think he was
She
a
saw it during
Southerner.
trivia night.
Yeah, see, I don't think he was a Southerner, and I don't think he owned a slave either. So you guys aren't taught that stuff. But anyway, okay, so that's what resolutions are. New Year's resolutions. Everybody says they make them and they say, but they want. Well, you're already going into it. That's not going to happen. Okay, when you say that, they're like, I'm just going to say, but we're so trained that they never go through. So stop using that term. Okay. And all right, so you can read books that give you these very complicated ways to set goals, which I've done. Think and Grow Rich, one of the greatest books ever written by Napoleon Hill, one of the greatest teachings of goal setting, but most people don't follow what's in that book because it's a lot of work. If you want to reach your goals in life, if you want to be successful, you have to put in the effort, you have to put in the work. But I came up with something way back when I first entered the investment business that I call the goal getter, which is also in Who Said Life Doesn't Come Without what is it now?
Life doesn't come with an owner's manual.
I know, because my grandmother always used to say, life doesn't come with an owner's manual. And that generation always said that. So I wrote the owner's manual. Not Pipeman, though. Dean K. Piper did. Pipeman wouldn't have any good words to say in that book. No, but seriously.
You ever thought about rewriting it through Pipeman's eyes?
That would be cool, right? Oh, my God. That's a good idea, Rebel. Shit. 12 years. You came up with a good idea. Good job. So, seriously, though, what do? We think it's the right thing to do. We had 2024 or whatever the year before was, and we want changes in the next year. We always want changes in the next year, or else we don't do New Year's resolutions. Think about it. There would be no need for a New Year's resolution if the year before was what you wanted it to be or who you wanted to be. So we make up these things on New Year's Eve when we're drunk, and we do have full intentions of going about it. Like, for instance, what is the number one New Year's resolution that's failed every single year? Swamp Nut?
To make changes.
But thank you for playing. That was too generic. Studio Nut.
Working out.
That's it. Gym. And everybody goes on the first week of January, buys their gym membership that they never use.
Waste that money, people. Waste that money.
And like that's how gyms make money, from selling so many memberships that they have more memberships than capacity.
Oh, yeah.
Because they know most people are not going to go.
No, not at all. And you are locked into that 1, 2, or more year contract for sure. But there's something to be said about being locked into that contract. Because somebody like me, I have a different thing, man. If I'm paying the money, I better get my money's worth. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm going to do what, like, so there's a commitment. Like, part of reaching goals is having a public commitment. It says I'm Think and Grow Rich. That's the public commitment, getting the gym membership. So gyms, when they sign people up, they use stuff from Think and Grow Rich because it appeals to people. But it's true. Like, see, to me, you're better off hiring a trainer at the gym because the trainer is going to make you accountable. And you're basically going to want to make sure, because you don't want to get razzed at all by your trainer. Okay. So
can I throw in something there? Before you even commit to a gym membership that's going to cost you money, commit yourself to walking for 15 minutes a day. If you can't do that,
20,
if you can't commit to
least.
yourself,
half an hour.
I say
start little, people. Start little.
I always do a half an hour, but you have to do a minimum of 20.
It's a brisk walk for half an hour.
Yes.
That's where you want to be at.
To that, don't waste your money on a damn gym. I'm just saying.
And Rebel, when we say brisk walk, I don't even have to try for that. That's what I just do anyway. Okay. Let me tell you something, though. I'm in the new pipe cave. Okay. And there's 3 times the amount of floors to get to the bottom. Okay. Well, I used to never take the elevator at the other one. This one, I'm like, today, maybe I will. Yeah. Because it's a long hike. It's a long hike to the bottom of this building. Let me tell you something. I took pictures and videos the other day. Literally, I was sitting on the balcony for sunrise, and I was above the clouds. Like,
Nice.
it was so wild. And,
Sounds like
you
it.
know, my daughter, I'm looking out the window right now. Somebody's about to go parasailing, but I was talking to my daughter earlier before the show, and basically she said, "Oh yeah, as high up as you are, you probably with the birds." I'm like, actually, at the other pipe cave, they used to hang out with me on the balcony. Like, I don't see birds up here because I'm higher.
They don't
than the
go that
birds.
high. This
I'm
on this
higher
one.
than the birds. Like,
Oh my.
And that
I
is
don't
not
know.
a metaphor.
I was trying to think of a way to let people know it's not what you're thinking, people. Okay, it's not that high. Okay, yeah, literally. Okay, so I want to do some testing too. You know, because I am a science person. I'm going to start dropping things off the balcony to see, you know, the whole theory of, you know, weight and gravity and all that stuff. I want to see.
Oh my.
Well, there's a
Depends on
jacuzzi
what
down
you try.
below. I want to see how many things I can make into the jacuzzi from up here.
Just watch what you drop. You know that bag of dog poop that you're supposed to set on fire and leave it somebody's storage? Not
I set it on fire and I throw it
balcony.
down towards the jacuzzi and hope that the jacuzzi it lands in there and it puts it out.
Do you ever plan on using the jacuzzi? I mean, because if that's
Never
the
in
case,
a million
don't do it.
years. I was in that business for 10 years till I was like 21 years old. And then I was in it later. No, never in a million years. I hate spas. Okay. Like,
Here's a question that you can answer with your testing of things. If it's set on fire and it hits waters with temperatures over 100 degrees, does he put the fire out?
mm,
Because the water is hot.
It's still water.
but it's hot water.
Depending on what
It's
you
not water.
ignited the flame with, it's going to
If
depend.
that were true, Rebel, why would we have fires out in the middle of the ocean?
Gulf of Mexico is warm.
I just
The
said
Atlantic is
it's not
cold.
it's not what is on fire. I mean, it's what is on fire. If you put gasoline, which doesn't mix with water, okay, or other combustible
I have a question for
things-
you, Swamp Nut.
Yes.
Okay. If you burn the bush on fire, is that the 2020? Well, is that the 2000 version of Scaping?
No, don't burn that bush, by the way, people, that could hurt. Okay, just saying.
Hey, Juan, did you ever hear the song from the 70s from the disco scenario? I'm bringing it up because it came up in a conversation with my brother just the other day. Push, push in the bush.
No.
This is what they sang about in the 70s. In fact, maybe while we're talking here, no, don't do it because we don't want to play it on here. But no, there was a
Also,
song,
there's no time.
push, push in the bush. You know, oh shit, you're right. So anyway, here's what I want to do. Okay, seriously though, the goal getter, 10 things on a list. Okay, so you do Think and Grow Rich. You got to come up with long-term, short-term goals, medium-term goals, financial. You got to split it off in all these categories. It's like writing a thesis paper for your doctorate. Okay,
Send you into paralysis analysis. Exactly.
no doubt. Pipeman, it's very simple. It's always been effective for Pipeman. You take a piece of paper, you number it 1 to 10. You put 10 things you want most out of life that are actual goals you're going to go after. They don't have to be monetary. They can be long-term. They can be short-term. They can be medium-term. They can be about your personality. They can be something you want to buy. That's something you want to do. They could be about getting married.
10
whatever.
goals. You're starting that analysis paralysis stuff. Stop overthinking it. 10 goals.
Yeah, but I'm saying it could be anything. Okay, just the 10
But just
things
set
you
them
want
in.
most out of life. Like
What if the top two are peace and happiness? How to achieve those?
Well, there are
Well,
ways to
that's-
achieve those. Hold on. Don't know them. There are ways to achieve those. And if that's what you want to put on your list, put it on your list. Okay. It's 10 things. And as something, you accomplish something on the list, you replace it with something else. So you always have 10 on the list. Now, to his question, well, peace is different for each individual. So you have to define and sit there and define what is peace to you. And those
But
are your actual
don't
goals.
go into paralysis analysis with that. Don't overthink it. And we did a show like this once. We did a show about how can you ever reach peace and happiness. I remember that. It's been a while, but I do believe
Peace
we
and
did a show
happiness is a state of mind. It's not what happens to you. It's what you do with it. It comes from the inside. I used to tell my youngest daughter all the time, she always based her happiness on what she could buy or what she could wear or whatever. Happiness is based on how you feel, not based on what you buy, because that's why we're always chasing happiness. We're buying all these things that think they're going to give us happiness, or we're doing all these things that think give us happiness, but we don't have the chance to sit and just evaluate. And really, that's what we're talking about in Juan's question is you got to really sit down and evaluate what you want out of life, what makes you happy, what makes you peaceful, because people make New Year's resolutions based on society's rules. And this is a big thing I always talk about in seminars or in my book is we're always doing things based on somebody else's rules, and that's why we don't succeed. We're not going to succeed based on somebody else's rules. And what I mean by that, like somebody else, their goal is to have a Rolls Royce. So you think that's supposed to be your goal. Meanwhile, I think they're ugly. I'll take a Ferrari instead. That's my goal.
I've driven Ferraris. They're not fun.
Well, they would be fun for me. Because I've driven them. I've driven a Cobra, the original Cobra. That was fun. But yeah, man, like this year, 2025, we can make it the absolute best year ever. It's up to you. It's up to your attitude going into it, and make the changes you need. Figure out what you really want, not what other people want you to have. Like a lot of times our New Year's resolutions are based on what other people tell us we should do or have or what have you. I'm telling you, fuck all the rest. You're the best. You figure it out for yourself. You figure out what you like. You figure out what you want. And your goals are your goals. And the last thing about that goal getter sheet is nobody else, nobody has to know what's on there. It's for you personally. Nobody can ask you. People are like, well, let me see it. Nope, not their business. It's your business. And on top of that, I would make multiple copies of it and have it everywhere you go. Because in order to achieve your goals, it has to be in front of you at all times. I always have something on my mirror in my bathroom. I always have something in my car. I always have something in my pocket, because you have to be in tune with your goals all the time. That's the problem with resolutions. We make these statements, but we don't do anything to follow up. We don't visualize it. We don't see it, and we don't even really want it because it's what everybody else wants. So you know what? This year, you want to smoke it up, drink it up, do all that. If that's your goal, that's your goal. But like I said, screw everybody else. You're the best. You're going to have the best year ever. It's up to you. And tune in next week where we're going to announce the winner to the free cabin to Shiprocked. You know it.
Whoop, whoop.
I love it. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year, Studio Nut. Happy New Year, Swamp Nut. And tune in this week, next week, and every week at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, W4CY Radio, and in W4CY.com. Don't forget, and we missed it, but don't enjoy it. And don't forget, today is National Hangover Day. Enjoy it just like Swamp Nut is. And we'll see you on the flip side. Roll it, Juan.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.